to just do so well. And Keith, super solid on the Ashe. Looks like Jace though for Ninja. So smart stuff for EnVy. It does feel like they're just picking Comfort here.
Yeah.
I mean, given that it's a do or die game, you might as well. I think it's interesting to see if that Comfort can translate into some more momentum for them in the actual game itself.
Yeah, I mean, even if we try and complete the rest of EnVy's team composition right there, they have a magic damage threat, so to speak, with the Elise jungle. So I think Seraph might even play another Renekton. Their support would just be then a Zyra or a Malzahar, depending on what the bans are. And that's the whole team. That's just EnVy's Comfort that they like to try and play. And now it's going to be, I feel like, more on Echo Fox to try and disrupt that.
Yep, Victor ban for EnVy, so taking away Froggen's mid laner. There's the Zyra ban though for Echo Fox, so we'll see if that follows with a second support ban here. Ari though banned away for EnVy, so clearly picking on the mid laner of Echo Fox here in their second phase of bans. I think Echo Fox would be pretty smart to buy Malzahar, and there it goes.
Speaking of disruption, that is one of the ways to dissuade EnVy from picking a physical damage top laner. If you're lowering the number of magic damage threats EnVy can bring. Based on EnVy's history, though, they do not care about that. They'll still pick an all-AD team if they want to.
Ooh, Thresh over Hakuo. I mean, Karma's open, but that's not the kind of player Hakuo is. He can play it. He'll play it if he has to, but might as well go down swinging if you're going down.
Yeah, Thresh is easier to play with an Elise on your team because the Death Sentence can also be follow-up CC to other people landing skill shots. So a lot of it is aiding itself, I guess, if I'm trying to find the right words for it, where the Death Sentence can be very good follow-up in this situation.
Well, there's a Nautilus for Echo Fox, so sticking to the tanks here. Away from the Shen, interestingly there for Looper. I think he's generally quite a good Shen, and Echo Fox were positioned somewhat well. Of course, that blunder around the Drake did cost them quite heavily, so maybe going back to the more standard and perhaps stronger tank. As Vladimir, the final pick there for Froggen into that Jace. Seen a lot of Vladimir in recent weeks.
Yeah, something that can do massive late game, mid to late game AoE damage in team fights. And also is a little bit better to be blind picked than something like a Karthus, because the huge danger if Froggen were to go back to that Karthus would be you're into Zed and then you just lose. So that is open. They're going to move the Jace mid lane, throw the Maokai top lane, and have a pretty standard looking team composition.
Yeah, important to note that they did have flexibility, but it looks like a last pick tank there is the go for Seraph now that he's seen what he's up against in the Nautilus. So EnVy, I mean, showing up a lot of potential team fight. Maokai is a great champion for artificially inflating your team fight power just because of how good he is in those situations. But I certainly like the two carries on the Echo Fox side. Keith's Ashe has looked good. I really enjoy the Blade of the Ruined King Hurricane build, and Froggen always wants to do a lot of damage on his champions. Vladimir is a champion that's able to do that. He can still flank like he would with the Ahri, and he's going to make Keith's damage even better with his ultimate as well. So a lot to like about Echo Fox's comp here. Yeah,
looking just at the team compositions, I think you do favor Echo Fox slightly in this matchup due to a pushing bottom and top lane, as well as more damage differentiation in team fight. Since there's double physical damage out of the mid and bot lane on EnVy. So if Echo Fox plays this to scratch, they should be all right.
Yeah, curious to see what happens here. I think for EnVy, you just have to put it all aside, forget that it's a third game, just think you're playing one game, and just put everything into it. I mean, I think part of the reason Liquid have done so well in their upset today is what else do they have to lose? The confidence in that team being like, you know what? We have to win, we might as well try. And they just came out swinging game after game. EnVy, they need a little bit of that. They just need some confidence in themselves. And if they can do that here in this game and really overwhelm Echo Fox that we've seen them do in individual games, that's about as much as they can carry into tomorrow.
Yeah, the player who's probably underperforming the most this series for EnVy would be Seraph, and if he can have a good performance against Looper, the pick potential, if they can snowball ahead between Lyra's Elise and Hakuho's Thresh, is very high as far as trying to get a quick and decisive win.
Well, we'll see what happens here in the final game between Echo Fox and EnVy. Echo Fox hoping for a win here and then crossing their fingers moving into tomorrow. EnVy can also still escape relegation, but they must win out the weekend. It'll start here in this third game. Froggen and Ninja facing off against each other. I think we've seen Froggen's Vladimir this year. So kind of curious to see what his take on the champion is. It looks like Arcadia might get himself picked off. Very nice scouting though. He's going to find Hakuo.
Yeah, Froggen favoring the Ignite on Vladimir. A lot of people do favor the Ghost to be able to get better backline access in late game team fights, but if my recollection serves, I generally see the Ignite. Vladimir's do a little bit worse, but does slightly enhance their kill threat in lane.
Probably getting tagged there, but not too much damage there. It is Froggen's first flank game this split. Shoutouts to my memory for somehow getting that one right. Lyra and Seraph though, camping their Raptor camp. Seraph gonna get a big amount of help going with the 3 saplings ready to go. And Lyra should be flying through this jungle as Arcadian is going to get no help by the looks of things. It might even be starting on that buff in towards his red there.
You know, red buff start for Arcadian, but huge pull for Lyra that can kind of supercharge him in this jungle. Interesting that no one tried to stop that sapling start. Basically, Echo Fox may have been worried about the potential of level 1 Thresh stopping a harass attempt, but that's going to speed up Lyra for sure. Luckily, they did get a ward on it. Looper did a late invade to get a ward on red buff, so at least Echo Fox knows they are safe for now.
Yeah, I can see Lyra now as well, so even though he is quickly through this jungle, didn't use his smite either, and that's Arcadian straight onto Ninja! Goes under the turret and almost gets a kill! Ninja forced to burn his flash.
Yeah, but that's just the red buff start thing. Lyra did that last week and got first blood with it.
Uh-oh, level 1 though, Ignite is down. Keith forced to flash away. Hakuo smelling blood in the lane.
Yeah, Keith does save his heal, so it's a flash for Ignite move. Where this gets dangerous is that Elise can just round right into that lane. And
oh no, they're not level 2. Hakuo gonna have to be forced to flash out. Ignite is down onto him this time. Blade onto the Lulu to try and do damage and didn't quite get the experience they needed. Lyra gonna take this blue buff, but something was cooking there in that bottom lane. Unfortunately for EnVy, they're on the wrong end of that trade.
Really trying to jockey for position right there because EnVy was thinking, great, Keith's flash down, we're gonna get the Elise up in here and we're gonna get the kill. But they got a little bit over ambitious, had to burn all their summoner spells defensively, and then a good hawk shot by Keith, level 2, to see Lyra in the jungle and no to recall.
Yeah, and Lyra actually going to keep farming as a result. Gate is holding down and getting a bit of extra CS, but Keith has already backed away. Looks like this Raptor camp's available, so Lyra, if you can steal this whole camp away, will deny a ton of experience from the level 3 Arcadian. And even in a duel, at least is 1 level up right now. In fact, Lyra's just going to take that all away.
Oh my goodness. Leaves 1. Here you go, bud. And it's going to heal as well, so it takes longer. 10 gold for Arcadian. Yeah, I mean, that is the cost of doing that level 2 gank that Arcadian did. Red buff to gank right away. If you start Raptors, you're powered through the jungle. Lyra gets pretty much the most ideal full clear you can get. He does Raptors to red to blue side jungle to Raptors. So his experience is actually supercharged right now. A 300 gold lead over Arcadian from farm alone.
Yep, almost level 5 as well. Arcadian still sitting at 3, so kind of keep track of that XP as the early game continues on. Looper and Seraph, in the meantime, are back up to their tank battle in the top lane. We saw Seraph play very aggressively with his Nautilus in game 1. Looks like Looper's just fine here at level 4, so no additional pressure coming through from the jungle. And Gate did stay this whole time, so it's going to have a little less item-wise there as Hakuo is going back, but should be a recall timing for Gate as Keith actually holding this wave pretty nicely near the turret. Should be able to catch back up in CS.
And it's pretty important for Echo Fox to keep the bottom lane pushed back like that since Keith's flash is down against an Elise who does have flash. By the way, Lyra just continuing to stay out on the map.
Yeah, he should be okay.
He's 35 CS on first recall, so he's got to have 1,300 gold, and he's halfway to level 6, 5 minutes into the game. Definitely a power clear. That's going to set him up for some success.
Yeah, first recall coming out now, so there's the early parts of the Runic Echo's enchantment, plus that jungle item now completed fully. Arcadian is kind of looking towards mid, hoping to find maybe a pick onto Ninja, but Ninja pretty safe, Froggen playing up, and actually with a very healthy CS lead after that early pressures. They can kind of see what's been happening, even though Arcadian fell behind in the jungle.
Exactly. We've been talking about the cost of Arcadian for Arcadian, but now we're seeing the cost for Ninja to have to burn flash and that much health that early in the lane. He's had a hard time recovering against Froggen, and especially since Froggen has Ignite, he has that increased kill threat, which is, I think, led to extend that CS advantage.
Bottom lane now pushing in favor of EnVy still. Keith, without his flash for a minute or so longer, he's going to have to just relax and play it safe. Gate did go back in though, so likely refilled those wards. Does have a control ward in the Tri-Bush for his lane, and upgraded to the Frostfang as well, whereas Hakuo just going to extra Ruby Crystal, but so far so good for EnVy. Fortunately for them, going to have to wait on the next 2v2, although this is good timing from Lyra if they can find the right opportunity.
Yeah, he's revealed that, oh boy, he's level 6. Luckily for Echo Fox, there's not massive power spike for Lyra at level 6, but he's just going to continue to kind of farm up here. If he would be able to get a jungle invade in, he would really be able to exert some will over to Acadian. So Acadian really does need to focus on just getting these camps down while they're there. Otherwise, he could fall really far behind.
Yeah, you can see Lyra is waiting for Froggen here, but Froggen actually playing nicely now with his jungler behind him. Going to sneak into this brush. Might even catch Lyra blind. And Ninja going to walk too far forward. He face checks. He gets teammate play. Acadian flashes in. But Lyra comes around with the Cocoon. First blood over to Lyra. Froggen uses the pull. Ninja, though, stays alive and key gold onto EnVyus jungler.
Lyra has gotten so many kills off of counter ganks in the early game. Another one comes through here. I believe they spotted Acadian entering the brush from a river ward, but still, nice execution to be able to pick that one up.
Another aggressive play there from Hakuo, but Gape firing back. Gets the maximum charges up his crossfang, although nice trade onto Keith from Apollo. Kind of using the much changed Varus and getting those blight stacks procced. Froggen chilling out in lane for a little while longer. Let's have the Revolver built already, so we'll be going for that very standard proto belt first, but just gonna hang out, keep farming. Ninja again forced back, but things should get better, especially if Lyra maybe revisits the lane just one more time to alleviate just a bit more pressure. Yeah,
Hex Drinker completed for Ninja. It helps him with a lot of the harass issues. Has gone refillable blood. Cook in.
That was juicy from Hakuo, and okay, gonna take maybe too much here. EnVy gonna win the 2v2. Keith still trying to fight it up. Flashes forward with the heal. May not save him. Keith is able to get the next kill. And EnVy almost made it look amazing.
Yeah, and what's funny here is Keith wins this trade. Even though EnVy are the ones who got the initial kill, this is often why you say don't focus the support, because as soon as Gate got hit by that hook, Keith went to damage Apollo immediately. And then once he eliminated him from that, he got to take a wave afterwards. So not only does he get the kill, he gets the experience afterwards, and the 1-for-1 trade favors Echo Fox.
Yep, he's level 6 now as well, so it doesn't matter too much here, but we'll watch this one again. Great hook just started off from Hakuo.
Yeah, really good hook, and they can win this trade without necessarily all-inning if Apollo plays back a little bit more and doesn't take so much damage from Keith. But Keith does the right thing here and fully focuses Apollo to get the kill back, and then he can pick up the wave afterwards.
Yep, really nice stuff there from Keith. So an uneven trade, despite that initial kill there for Echo Fox. Looper does manage to tag Seraph with the hook, get some Riptide damage back down, but Seraph with a slight CS deficit. Things are going perfectly fine there in the top lane. As Hawkshot once again breezes by Ninja, who's trying to get out of this lane and into the side lanes to influence, maybe get some more damage down, but Froggen is pushing the wave up aggressively and still holding a really good CS lead.
Yeah, and when he gets the Proto Belt, is when his kill threat's going to come in a little bit higher. Level 9 also a great point for the Vladimir. At least he can get all of his points in queue and really lower that cooldown substantially.
Who's Lyra though into the bottom lane, so trying to turn things around even more. Hakuo should have the Lantern ready, and Apollo's got the ultimate. They should know what's up. Keith doesn't quite have a flash, or he's going to get tied up. Hook from Hakuo is true, and Apollo gets the kill.
And they're going to go for Ninja right here.
Acadian straight onto it, although doesn't have the kick to really all in for it. Had the ultimate, but couldn't get behind Ninja.
And that's the gank that Echo Fox was worried about at level 2 once Keith's flash was down. That remains a threat. When your flash is down against an Elise Thresh lane, they will just get to you. And Echo Fox could not keep the wave in the right spot to get picked off there.
Again roaming mid, but Froggen's already back. Looks like he does have enough money for the Proto Belt, so picks that one up now. But Lyra going to start the Infernal Drake here for EnVy. This is much more the pace of the early games we expect. Lyra got that big CS lead, was able to take down the camps, and finally orchestrates 2 good-looking ganks and is now taking objectives for his team.
Yeah, Infernal Drake going to be good since they have pretty much 3 people that are going to be building the attack damage or the ability power in the Elise, Jace, and Varus. Not to mention, they're trying to snowball off of their pick champions. They can set up with the Elise and the Thresh, and if Apollo is then fed after that, it gives them much better cleanup.
Froggen, though, continuing to mount a healthy CS lead versus Ninja, just free pushing this lane. I mean, Ninja, he wants to leave because he knows 1v1 things aren't going too well, but every roam attempt that fails puts him further behind. But EnVy should have played to the strong side of the map.
And EnVy might consider turret diving this. They know the summoner spells are still down, and they can land any of the 3 CCs, the Varus ultimate, the Thresh hook, or the Cocoon for kill threat.
And if they don't, they can just take down the turret and once again collect the first turret in 3 games in this series. Apollo gets full solo gold. They're investing heavily into this Varus.
Yeah, so they're good at that.
Yes.
We definitely know that.
These are the steps that EnVy have practiced very well. Do they know the rest of the dance, chat? That's the issue.
Yeah, and in this game, it always changes what they need to execute on, and it's going to be a real struggle, I feel like, because so much of their holes have been in late game vision control and having people getting picked off. And in order to get the picks late game with the Elise and the Thresh, they need to have the good late game vision control. So that's where they have struggled, and that's where this lead is not safe.
No lead is safe, but certainly not one like this. Although 2,000 gold up for EnVy is going to feel good as they're off to another good early game. Ninja still keeping back Froggen, but just woefully behind in CS still. And maybe Froggen thinks, you know what? Maybe I get out of this lane, start influencing other side lanes. I mean, at some point, Vladimir is going to become a very potent split pusher as well. Yeah, Froggen does love to get the side lanes.
Potent team fighter. Vladimir is potent right now, just in the game, especially when he starts getting farmed up. And it's going to be pretty difficult for the Jace and the Varus to have meaningful defense against him as well, or meaningful mobility against him if Froggen can get the right angle.
Yeah, Froggen again just playing up. Protobelt's in just to try and get the Q down. Lands it, and that gate's there to protect him. Ninja doesn't chase too far forward, but Froggen, that's awfully cheeky. Arrow gonna miss.
Oh!
Ninja gonna live.
People were not expecting Ninja to run that far forward. They're like, surely he's scared of the Vladimir, but he runs so far forward that Keith shoots the arrow behind him. What was another miss?
Three-man roam attempt, excuse me, from Echo Fox. All but Looper wasn't there as Acadian going to get hooked up by Hakuo. Boxes up. Wild Growth is down, but Acadian played back in. Froggen also eats it, but Hakuo already down. Chain Corruption landed onto Acadian, but he's going to live with the help of Keith's heal. Damage on to keep, but Ninja just not there in time, and that's turned around as a teleport's coming in for Looper. Froggen flashing in, gets the Protobelt down into the pool, but EnVy need to run out. They know Looper's there. Seraph cancels his TP, knowing that the play is over.
Right, so now Seraph's going to have that advantage in the top lane. Previously, he had been the one to complete the bad teleports. That was Looper this time, but just looking up at the start of this play once again, why follow that in, Hakuho? Everyone was there for Echo Fox, and the follow-up was just behind him, so a lot of times you land the juicy hook and you feel like you need to take it in, but that was just going into his own demise.
Well, it looks like a blue buff invade going to start off here for EnVy, but Looper shutting that down. Might even get something started here onto Seraph. Cocoon's going to miss, but Looper does not bother using that hook. Instead, they'll fall back and make sure they get the blue buff.
Yeah, taking a closer look at the minimap right here, I mean, his AD is way in the bot lane, and he doesn't even leave him a lantern to hop in with. Who is he expecting to come in and help him when he makes that play? I think it was just a little bit of tunnel vision there by Hakuo, thinking he was going to make a big play. And they nearly got the kill anyway, but definitely not what you want to do when you're the one landing the hook.
You can see great damage there from Apollo's Varus, but not enough to take down Arcadian, with thanks to all the protection offered by Lulu. When he does have that Blade of the Ruin King finished already, still up a good amount of CS versus Keith, and now Ash has also finished that next item, so the race to Runan's Hurricane will begin for both of these marksmen. And it's plays like that EnVy just need to be a little cleaner on.
Yeah. So what do you do with the lead? And when they don't have the right decision-making, whether or not it's based on vision control, luckily he doesn't take that one in because he didn't have the backup. They need to be able to have everyone there when they set up the plays. Chain the Death Sentence with the Cocoon and still have the burst damage from either the Jace or the Varus.
I think part of the struggle comes from the fact that map's just not that open yet. Haven't really rotated around and tried to siege other outer turrets, but Apollo's been still bottom lane for a lot of these last few minutes, so I think EnVy now realizing this, going to go mid lane, maybe try and get that shoved out instead. They've also got an Infernal Drake to contend with in just over a minute. And despite the fact that Seraph is still taking a beating in these trades, will be relevant if a teamfight starts.
Yeah, and I think Echo Fox as well will be pretty confident when teamfight phase starts, as long as Keith can keep up a little bit in CS. The 40 CS discrepancy is more than they're willing to deal with right now. But if he gets to the Hurricane like he was in previous games, and this time still has the Lulu with the Vladimir in team fights, I think that is enough to push them over the edge when you have 4 people on EnVy that are pretty squishy, just the Maokai that could actually be shredded down by a Keith beforehand, and I think Fox is going to be pretty comfortable even with the deficit.
Yeah, you can see on the other side for Froggen, I mean, almost 8 CS is his average at 15 as far as CS differential goes. This game up 31 over poor Ninja. So Froggen, I mean, you can see that lead kind of still reflected there in the current numbers. Just gotten himself nice and ahead here as the Drake is coming up in 10 seconds. EnVy going to try and get around it, but Echo Fox already pressuring this mid lane turret as well.
Yeah, it is the second Infernal Drake, so you want to be able to control that. If EchoFox gets the right setup for a team fight, they can absolutely win. They actually have the push in the mid lane already, so they now get inside track on the Drake, but teleport from Seraph.
It's the advantage you talked about earlier. Looper already down here though. Froggen taking a little too much damage, but he Protobelt's in. The arrow's gonna miss. As Froggen's still going for it, but the Wild Growth's gonna knock a few up. Seraph tries to lock down Gate, but Looper flashes forward with a depth charge and tries to get Apollo repel. He's gonna see Lyra off to safety after he flashes, but Arcadian is able to clean up Ninja, kicks Apollo as well. Doesn't get the kill, but probably still did enough.
And that's one of the reasons why EchoFox should be fine with a small gold deficit, because that was actually kind of a solo mission by Froggen at the very start of that, and it still pushed EnVy all the way back. Now they can take control of this Infernal Drift.
I mean, if you like heroics and diving in 1v5, Vladimir is a pretty good champion for you. Froggen knows his limits on the champion, goes straight in, knows he's got a big farm edge, and just tanks EnVy for long enough for the rest of his team to clean up.
Yeah, I mean, Acadian, Gate, and Nautilus are down on the bottom, and Keith gets hit by a Shock Blast, so it actually is Froggen going in against like 4 people, and everyone's running away from him. Then Gate follows up with the Wild Growth to keep him alive. Lyra could never get in on this fight, and I feel like also because of the teleport location from Seraph, EnVy could never really set up their front line, therefore Froggen got good access to the back line, and that's another thing that swung that fight.
Well, bottom lane turret also going over to EchoFox, so things starting to stack better in their favor. Even up the turrets, even up the Infernal Drakes, and Apollo not going to be able to do enough damage to that mid lane outer turret, and Froggen will swoop in to collect the CS that he's gleefully awaiting in the mid lane. I mean, now top lane is the attempt for EnVy, but it does feel like some of these more proactive rotations could have been done earlier. Instead, EchoFox take the setup for them, and they know they're comfy 5v5.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit of credit to Seraph to keep his CS up in that Nautilus matchup, but still needs to have the right teleports and the right cohesion with the team. And even just looking at the vision, EnVy does actually have it this game. They have deep wards in the blue buff side of EchoFox, which would tell us that they want to try and make a play near where Looper is or to sneak behind in the mid lane. But they're still just kind of meandering around the river, so they need to be able to use this vision for a proactive play. Maybe they go top here.
That feels like part of the issue is that they just never have an ult aligned at once. This, though, is a nice proactive play.
Yeah, it's a 4-for-1. They should be able to win this.
Tower dive time onto Looper. He's a big tanky Nautilus, but it might not be enough here. Depth charge onto Ninja goes through almost everybody on EnVy, but blocked down by Seraph on the next one. Ninja leaps in for it, but Lyra gets credit for the kill, and Hakuo out to tank the turret.
Yeah, they invest 4 for that one. It means EchoFox can probably push back up the mid lane, but that was still the right steps for EnVy. Get the vision, know what you're walking into, be able to execute the play. The question is, if the play is actually worth it at the end of the day, depends on if EchoFox can get this mid lane turret with ease.
The rest of EnVy going around the long way, but they should be able to stop Arcadian's dive attempt. Keith is rotating over. He was busy pushing a long bottom wave, but Apollo going to have enough wave clear here with the Varus Q in the E, so this cannon creep's going to do a little extra damage, but EnVy able to defend their turret and take a turret for themselves.
Yep, more plays like that is what they want to generate with the pick composition of Elise and Thresh. But these are the types of team fights EchoFox want EnVy to walk into.
Well, Rush Camp's going to be sniffed out by Seraph. Throws a sapling in there. Ninja also off to the side, still behind 60 CS. My goodness. That is a large deficit for Ninja, but, you know, he'll get there eventually. On the way to 2 items. Unfortunately, Froggen's only getting stronger, but at least EnVy are putting themselves in a good position to try and play the map, and, you know, 2 turrets to 1 isn't too bad. If they can kind of get this mid turret down and open that map up, then EnVy can maybe think about winning some of those team fights. Yeah,
there is the fear of the 35 to 40-minute Vladimir, right when he gets, basically when he hits around 40% CDR, so he's got the Protobelt, the Zonias, and then oftentimes he'll also go with an Abyssal Scepter, and when he hits that, normally you'd have something like cooldown boots. He just becomes an absolute force to deal with. Froggen going a little bit more defensive with the Mercury Treads, but still going to hit close to those points.
Got the Zonias now as well, so next major item is completed for Froggen. Kind of curious what his gold lead is. Actually not that far ahead of Ninja. So global gold certainly helping out there. But Froggen going to get the blue buff. So it always seems like get the blue, but player like Froggen loves all of his resources. Arcadian will donate that one over. And Ninja actually may be caught here 3v1 right now with Ash Arrow ready to go. Ninja going to back off towards the outer turret and try and play it a little safer as EnVy, again, just still feels like they're hot-footing a little bit about where they should be. They've got a good idea, but they're not decisive about where they want to go, and that is what costs them a lot usually in the late game, but kind of now as well. Good juke from Ninja though. That arrow
guiding the way of like, maybe he would have continued to run. No, not really. They didn't cut off. But this was another situation where, like you mentioned, Envy was dancing back and forth with where they wanted to be. Is Frog going to go for something? 1v3?
Just tides of blood over the wall. That's a good amount of damage to Lyra after charging it up. I saw a flash.
Yeah, I thought it might just flash Alt E, Q, pool, and try and one-shot someone 1v3 it. Wouldn't have been advised. You want to do that in a team fight when the objective is up, but I feel like Froggen's in a mode right now where he feels really strong.
Yep.
And is willing to try and go make plays.
Froggen with confidence is quite a force to be reckoned with. I was going to bring it up earlier, but you know, Echo Fox had a lot of struggles last year in the summer, and then Froggen just destroyed people in the promotion tournament. Yeah. Ideally, you'd have to be in that situation again, but I feel like part of Froggen is like, okay, team's life is absolutely on the line. Time to just go one level extra.
Yeah, get on my back. We're going in. And that is the situation both these teams are in. If they lose, they're in the promotion tournament 100%. If Team Liquid wins tomorrow, they finish 8th. If Envy wins out, based on the game win percentage, they probably finish 8th. And Echo Fox needs to win this one and then hope that Team Liquid lose tomorrow, then they'd be in. So it's crazy that we're this late in the season and we still have absolute variance between 8th and 10th.
Yep. And Echo Fox is going to do what they can do here, which is try and win this game. Envy going to feel the same way, and the gold's still slim between the two teams. Almost even as far as overall objectives go. Maybe the next Infernal Drake can break this stalemate. 15 seconds till that one, and I'm just waiting for Froggen to go absolutely nuts in a team fight.
And that's what they want, but they need to get Looper in the right spot so they don't get initiated on too early. Envy have so many fight starters that they would want to get, or they want to be able to see C-Lock Froggen.
Ooh, Seraph actually caught there by Looper. Hook back from Arco. Boxes started as well. Wild Growth, though, gets actually a good amount of damage. But Looper is going to fall. Now he flashes out of the way, and Froggen dives straight into the backline. Apollo wants to get out of the way, but Froggen burns his notice to buy a bit more time. Ninja tagged by an arrow there from Asher. Seraph is trying to take the rest of him. Ninja now knocking back Arcadian, and he flashes out to safety. Seraph trying to chase it down, but Ninja goes down to Keith, making a double there for the Ash. Echo Fox come out on top in the team fight.
And we were expecting them to win team fights, but that one was a little bit wacky. Froggen actually pooled in Zhonya's before he cast his ultimate. Oftentimes you'll see the Vladimir pattern be ult first, pool or Zhonya's until you can get the heal back. So a little bit dicey there, but even with that, they win the fight and take the Drake.
Well, Looper almost went down to the damage as Lyra looks for the assassination. Right. Turret's going to fall down. Froggen chasing him with the Proto Bout. Doesn't get himself hooked over to Apollo. He's going to reduce some of that healing flay down after the flash from Hakuo. And Apollo gets Froggen.
Yeah, a couple of weird decisions at the very end of the turret. Going right there. Lyra shouldn't have flashed. Froggen shouldn't have followed. But here, tank v tank. Let's go. Froggen really far back because he was actually shoving up the mid lane as Looper goes for that engage. So that's already desynced. But then you watch, even though Froggen is a little bit desynced with their abilities, he's zoning all of Envy and allowing Keith to free hit. So Keith switches targets onto Ninja as Ninja goes for the execute, and then is kind of just gifted Seraph, who came in afterwards. Still pretty good DPS through him throughout the fight. This is a thing.
This is the Envy Classic, apparently. 50-50 Baron here. Let's go. Looper already
Froggen's
around.
Dead.
Arcadian's here as well. Who's going to get it? Arcadian going to dive in for it. He does get the Baron away from them. And now Envy have to fight the way out of the pit. Looper taking damage, but Keith is still there in a position to free it. Seraph, though, shuts all that down as Apollo gets him. Lyra on a killing spree as Envy get a couple kills, but that was not worth the Baron.
Yeah, they do give up the Baron, but I understand the play. Froggen's dead. They're not winning team fights with a Vladimir alive, so please, desperation, give me the Baron. They can win the team fight afterwards as well, so maybe you want to see them peel off at about 3,000 health and just fight right now, but they stay on the Baron. Mixed damage from both teams. I think it was about 800 before that fight, incredibly close. So I don't blame Lyra for not being able to secure that one, but when the ensuing fight happens, you can see it is actually a 5v4. So Envy does win it fairly handily, gets the 2 kills, but at the cost of Baron, the goal is actually closer than it started.
I appreciate the gusto that Envy go in towards the Baron pit. Because like I said, this is a team that just struggles to find any sort of proactive play in a ton of situations. If your only play in a desperate looking situation, and look, this game is much closer than this sort of Baron was necessary, but if your only play is rush towards the Baron and force a 50-50, well, at least you have a play.
Yeah, and I agree with you in the fact that this game feels really, or can feel really close with the gold being so even. But I wonder about the mentality of Envy losing so many game 3s, knowing they get it in their head, thinking they just can't seem to win these. And then when they're experiencing these fights and Vladimir is just pushing them around, they're thinking, man, we're really in a lot of trouble right now. We have to make something happen. They go for that overreach and ends up giving Baron to 3 people on Echo Fox.
And I think assuming that this Baron doesn't do too much damage, I guess we'll see how much work Echo Fox can do with it. But if, you know, the Baron comes out, maybe lose a couple turrets, but the game does stay even. Do EnVy still say, okay, next Baron comes up, next moment we find, we start a team fight? Echo Fox instead, though, looking for their proactive play. Great chain of corruption from Apollo. Needs to click the lands and gets out of the polymorph and zips away to safety. Arcadian gonna miss that Q, but Echo Fox push him in instead.
Yeah, Ninja's in bottom lane without a teleport, so a bunch of turrets can go to Echo Fox now.
Not ideal.
Definitely not.
Echo Fox gonna take one, might get a very quick second one. Ninja finally back. Have to rush down there ASAP, but yeah, Baron buff still on. More than enough members. Cocoon gonna miss. Hook lands under Looper. EnVy gonna start a fight. Seraph locks up Looper on the front line, but he gets Wild Growth in as Froggen does straight for the back line with a 4-man Hemo Plague. Redemption down to reset it all. But there's a bit of AoE damage. Lyra attacks Looper with the Cocoon, but EnVy get no kills. And Fox get what they came for. They knock down the inhibitor turret.
Yeah, they do back off before the inhibitor because Froggen had expended his ultimate as well as Gate and Looper, so they didn't want to stick around for too much of an extended fight. Question is, what does EnVy get back? Because we know EnVy's in this mode where they're trying to get something back after each play. 4 people pushing mid lane for EnVy now.
Well, it looks like Ninja's going to have to go and answer Froggen in the top lane. But might be able to take a tier 2 here. Going to clear out some vision. EnVy instead just kind of fall back, maybe looking bottom lane. There's a wave already prepping down towards that side of the map. Echo Fox have to be careful. They cannot cheat too aggressively through their own jungle if they can't see EnVy, but as we can see, EnVy have already backed out of it, and that's going to be the majority of that damage from the Baron buff. Gold lead's still there for Fox, but it's not huge. It's just that open mid inhibitor that was really all the damage.
Yeah, I also find it pretty weird that EnVy is using Ninja as the side wave cleanup guy instead of the Maokai with teleport. They've kind of been caught unawares a few times when he's on a side lane and can't immediately match. Not to mention, if they're going to be trying to make a power push towards the turret, you want the Jace there to kill the turret. Just not quite there for EnVy, even though they started with a small lead once again.
Well, Control Ward going to get taken up by Looper, just kind of waiting for the wave as he's going to walk back towards it. In fact, maybe Keith goes to pick that one up, wanting a bit of extra CS for himself. You can see 3.5 items done for Apollo already. Actually looks pretty far ahead of Keith. Now they double-check the CS numbers.
Apollo's fed. And he can reduce Vladimir's healing. So if he continues to have a good game, that is a way for EnVy to come back. A minuscule Baron power play for Echo Fox, balancing out the 8,500 Baron power play they had in game 1.
Just positive. 96 gold up. I mean, yeah, you're right. Apollo is set up to maybe carry the back end of this game. How many games will we really see Apollo carry, though? Yeah. Particularly from this sort of carry. I mean, he had those Caitlyn games where you just felt like the fate of his team was in his hands but couldn't deliver. If there was ever a time for Apollo to step up, it's right now.
It's true, and there's been a lot of players on EnVy that get ahead in games, and very few of them have been able to carry it to victory. It's a systemic problem for them, so obviously not too comfortable.
This is a juicy bait. See you later, Arcadian Ninja collects credit for it. That was genius.
Yeah, they had the
my Froggen! He goes straight in for Apollo. Misses a proto belt though. Zonya's in, but the rest of them have to run away. Froggen might have just started the fight and needs for the team as Zeptar's going to find Apollo. EnVy needs to keep fighting it out though as Froggen is low on health and Apollo still getting in there. Seraph trying to take down Froggen and Ninja finally takes him down. EnVy might have a way back into the fight. Keith gets cocooned there by Lyra, but they can't follow it back up, and they just don't really have their health bars left. Ninja is going to get chased down. Hakuo trying to delay it as Ninja gates himself out to safety over the wall, back towards Echo Fox's base, and now Lyra going to try and turn it back around. Repel going to go back down and try and give it up. Yeah, he gets shut down by Looper, but he has to give something away. He saves his carries, but barely.
Man, Looper was a meat shield that fight for Keith. You could see everyone on EnVy was just hoping to get that cocoon onto Keith so that they could burst him down, but they could never really weave the right skill shots through at the right time. And even with that, crazy they go for it. Oh man, Hakuo still in the safe territory.
Great flash. Gets himself to safety. Looper burns this to try and get yet another pick. Instead, they'll get the Mountain Drake and go up by 2 Drakes there. 2 Infernals on a mountain will be all of the Elemental Drakes this game, I think. Yep, there's the Elder Dragon coming up next. I mean, this was a great start. Arcadian just...
Yeah. I mean, the fact that they were able to sneak in there in the first place does speak to a bit of a lack of vision control. But then Froggen, this is the burst, right? And that was with a Locket and a Redemption coming in. Froggen does that much work. The back end of the fight, though, Seraph doing his best to try and tank, really wants to get this kill onto Froggen, so he flashes in and eventually does get it thanks to the help of Ninja, but he's extended himself so far. And now, even though that one cocoon landed on Keith, it wasn't to follow up, and now it's just about Keith trying to find a way to finish kills off without getting picked by a death sentence or a cocoon. Looper blocks the death sentence. Looper stays pretty much in front of him. Lyra wasn't aiming properly for that first Keith one, but he flashed it anyway. Just not even trying to flash a cocoon, flash behind the tank, because it's okay if the skill shot hits him.
Well, very interesting back and forth there, but Echo Fox find themselves up on total objectives, but we have yet another fight brewing for this Baron. And these teams are starting to get very feisty as far as these team fights go. Middle inhibitor is also still open, so EnVy have to kind of worry about that as well. You can see they'll push the wave back, get a control word straight into the middle of the lane, actually, to make sure nothing super funny happens. But Echo Fox gonna transition over to Baron and hope EnVy come and face check.
Yeah, and still a very close game, although 3 Drakes for Echo Fox are pushing them a bit towards the larger advantage.
EnVy is set up well here with the side lanes also, so as far as, you know, doing the steps in the right order, this is kind of what EnVy want to be doing, but unfortunately, it doesn't matter how good your macro is. Sometimes it's just about, hey, we need to win a team fight, and EnVy gonna have to win at least one more.
And EnVy have a lot of gold in their pockets right now as well. 1,400 on Apollo, 1,200 on Ninja. Dangerous times to be posturing around the Baron Pit when they're close to those item breakpoints that can really push you over the edge of damage multiplication as well. So a difficult situation for them to be in right now, even though they have the minion waves, which should theoretically buy them time to shop.
And again, timing just not quite there for every little thing. Ideally, you wait for the waves, you have already all your gold spent, and you just dance around this Baron and force Echo Fox to react to the pressure in the side lanes. Unfortunately for them, they are sticking around because they want to do that damage, but it means they have to fight at a gold deficit here.
Yeah, and they still don't have the vision they want of the Baron Pit. They have no vision, actually, so Volatile Spiderlings and both of their Scrying Orbs are off cooldown.
Rough stuff there. Ooh, EnVy do actually have a sneaky ward in the back.
Right.
I thought there was a control ward in the pit, so I can understand where you were coming from there too. I mean, it's part of the way EnVy are happy to just chill out here. Side waves are dissipating, and EnVy, do they do it again? I said it, they got one play, not just yet.
They're hoping that Echo Fox sends too many people to the side waves, but really they should be using this time to shop. 2,000 gold on Apollo, 1,500 on Ninja. There's about 5,000 gold unspent when they rush this Baron.
I got a different play for you, Jet. Rush the Baron. Okay, maybe now leave as Lyra gets arrowed. Oh, Seraph grabbed up. They're going to have to fight now. Depth Touch goes through. Hakuo gets a Lantern up for Lyra. Great Chain of Corruption might save the rest of the fight as Froggen gets a massive Hemo Plague into the rest of EnVy. Arcadian misses that next tag. Looper's Hook's going to miss as well. And EnVy do not fall around the Baron Pit.
Yeah, luckily as well, there was a lot of missed skill shots there on the back end, especially from Looper's Dredge Line. Now, everyone takes a deep breath. Gentleman's agreement, stop pressuring Baron. We both need items. Yep. Just everyone goes back and buys items.
Looks like waves reversed as well, so Echo Fox now have those pushing in their favor. Hakuo going to run back down the lane and try and get probably vision back around the Baron area, although again that one scrying on Trinket helping out immensely. Apollo finishes shopping though, does now have the Maw of Malmortius fully completed, and Ninja not quite there at his 4th item, actually going for a Blade of the Ruin King. That's his next one.
Yeah, I mean, that item definitely has gotten a lot better. Still packs a good punch of AD. I don't immediately dislike it, but uh-oh.
Great kick, Lantern though. He's going to be safe enough. Death Touch going to follow, and now Apollo maybe get picked up. He flashes out of the way. Looper flashes on top of him, but the cocoon from Lyra could save him. Hakuo is going to fight it out, but the shutdown comes through. Forget Hakuo, the next to fall to Keith as Lyra now caught up between everyone else. A double kill for the support Lulu, and Arcadian comes up huge.
What a pick, and we were talking about Apollo needing to be in a position to will his team to victory, and he gets picked off. That is not what they wanted to have happen. Looks like Baron will go over to Echo Fox.
Ninja cuts the wave off though, so prevents a push from that inhibitor. Instead, Echo Fox is going to turn and take the Baron. Ninja very far down, just farming away. Seraph's going to do the same because EnVy know there is no way to contest with this Baron. Instead, Fox will go back, they'll spend their gold they've just collected, and they'll start yet another siege.
Yeah, they look like to be pushing top right afterwards, but even just watching this, Caden war jump, flash kick right away, and then smart to just sit near Hakuho, knowing Apollo was going to take it, and that allows Looper to just cast his depth charge onto Apollo, makes all the follow-up hit right there. It means nothing can stop Keith and Froggen from just free hitting, and Kate picks up a cheeky double on the backside. Would have liked that goal to go over to someone else, but still a worthy fight.
See Apollo slumps in his chair. It's a stressful moment at times like these.
And they just continue to push the top lane after Baron as well.
Yeah, Echo Fox just taking their advantage and saying, you know what? The sooner this game ends, the better I'm going to feel. Froggen straight into the backline once again as the inhib does go down. Froggen gets picked off though. Zoni is barely at the last second after his ultimate proc for a bit of healing. There's the wild growth to keep him alive, but Seraph is diving back in, gets polymorphed though by the Lulu. Hook onto Looper as Echo Fox are just going to brute force their way through. Looper does finally die to Seraph, and Seraph barely lives. Echo Fox do take the inhibitor, but they wanted to end the game, and Envy won't let them this time.
Yeah, the Locket redemption is negating the initial burst of the Vladimir, and if they can't stay beyond that, Froggen is vulnerable to the CC chains of Envy now. Double Blade of the Ruin King also helped to burn down the tanks.
That was very smart from Echo Fox, actually. They hung back in the lane, and they're going to go back in for it again. Envy actually pinging onto the Elder Dragon, though. Yeah,
I mean, Echo Fox want to threaten the Nexus, but Envy with Looper down know that they can win an Elder Drake fight if it would be a 5v4, which is why Echo Fox is trying to use this Baron buff to take a second inhibitor, and Envy actually recalling late. They should actually finish the Elder Drake instead of give up this inhibitor.
Yeah, it looks like they are gonna do half of that. Yeah, they're gonna stay, yeah.
They were gonna lose the inhibitor anyway, so why channel the recalls? It's gonna be okay, everyone stayed. False alarm. I like the call by Echo Fox to get the second inhibitor, because now they can just loop around for the third. After the 2.5 minute Elder Dragon buff is gone.
Echo Fox, we'll see if they can do any more damage. Only have one lane left to worry with, as Envy will have to sit back and farm the super minions that are going to be threatening their base for a number of minutes now. And I mean, you see from Envy, really smart from Echo Fox to be like, hey, if they're going to the Elder Dragon, we can stay in this lane and push back. You can see Envy's indecisiveness almost costing them everything, but they do stay together. And that's the sort of thinking you need to have. You know, it's stressful to be like, we need to recall and to go back. I don't know what to do. Like, you can see the indecisiveness there, but they make the right decision eventually. They were going to lose what they already lost based on Echo Fox's play. I think Envy is struggling to keep it together.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it is absolutely a must-win. Loser guaranteed in the promotion tournament. Echo Fox just kind of waiting back, maybe trying to delay when they're going to show this push, hoping that Envy pushes themselves into a different spot, but I mean, they're so far away in the minion wave anyway. Just waiting for the whole crew.
Yep. So Froggen and Looper are the ones lagging behind, but shouldn't be too much trouble. Envy going to move out to meet them, but have to make sure they've got the super minion waves in the right spots here, because Echo Fox know they can be patient here. And you can see again, they're just kind of leapfrogging their way up the lane, but Envy trying to scout out their own brushes as well.
Yeah, Envy have a little bit of time until the super minions crash into their Nexus turrets. Envy doesn't have a spectacular wave clear champion like a Sivir or Nazir, but the Hurricane will be pretty good for the Varus. They do have to just fall back though, and they will need to defend these turrets, and that's why Echo Fox kind of biding their time, essentially able to dodge all of the Elder Dragon time.
Yep. See Baron buff's wearing off as well, but Elder Dragon should follow pretty shortly afterward. It's got less than a quarter of its duration left. So there's the arrow out. Not going to hit anyone, but might as well threaten. You can see Ninja is forced back to base here. Seraph with the teleport sitting mid lane defending those waves, but Ninja's going to have to clear the minions threatening that top lane. At this point, I think this turret is, you just have to give it away. And Vino, this is not where they want to have their last fight.
Definitely dead, but they may have to have their last fight here if they can get the right initiation onto Keith. There's double Guardian Angel on Echo Fox. With the Varus and the Jace, they can wave clear the non-Baron minions if they have the Jace and the Varus there, which is easier said than done with two Ace of Supers.
Yep. See if they can do it with just the Varus, perhaps, because Ninja is sticking back and killing the super minions that are threatening their Nexus. Echo Fox just again have to play it patiently. Eventually the super minions are going to come through. And this turret not in position to try and defend right now. Varus isn't even there. There's Ninja. But Lyra also coming back off the fountain, running back towards the bottom lane. They've got maybe 2 waves less until this turret goes down.
Yeah, really interesting how they're putting the Elise to clear the sideways, but I guess they want the ranged wave clear of the others. Ninja really sneaking a shot there that actually does clear even more minions.
Bit of poke onto Froggen as well, so not too bad. But again, Echo Fox, this might be the way if they break this turret down. Hook's going to miss there from Hakuo. They kind of have to go now. EnVyus are in position, but there's a depth charge out already onto Apollo. They need to just kill the AD as there's Froggen straight in onto the backline. Redemption down to healing, but Froggen took a lot of damage there. Turret's going to go down now. Looper's going to be the one hooked up, and Seraph is going to lock him down. The Wild Goat's going to keep him alive for a little while longer, but Looper, he's getting low. Apollo moved back into the team fight, and that's Froggen able to get that kill. Seraph now dead as well. Now Ninja's trying to run away from the rest of Echo Fox, but this last inhibitor is going to go down. Ninja's getting tagged by Arcadian, and Looper is just moving forward as Keith going to try and take down the Nexus turrets. There's one. Ninja going to go down. Froggen seals know the kill, and it's actually Arcadian instead. Nexus though now wide open, and Hakuo and Lyra just cannot defend. Echo Fox will take what kills they can, and they'll finally pick up the victory.
Gotta hit
EnVyus.
the Nexus guy.
And they're going to get some kills first, or at least try to. Keith goes down to the turret, but the Nexus falls for Echo Fox. And now all they can do is wait.
Yeah, Arcadian clutched another kick onto Apollo at the end of that one in the middle of the fight to really clinch it. And it was a hard-fought series for Echo Fox. I mean, pretty much back and forth the entire way. Envy again does fall in game 3, but this is what Echo Fox needed to do to stay alive. Now, they're just gonna have to nervously sit and wait to see if they have to play in the promotion tournament.
Yep, I mean, that's for EnVyus. You have to start thinking, you know what, we've got one more match to play, but do whatever you can with it to kind of find a bit more form. Look as threatening as you can moving into that promotion tournament. And then see what happens from there. For Echo Fox, it's all smiles right now. It's out of their hands. They won the match they needed to win. Did not pick up their other match, unfortunately, for them this weekend, and that means that tomorrow they face they look on as a surprisingly angry and rampaging Team Liquid fight for their life out of promotion against FlyQuest. So expecting a jersey change tomorrow.
That's going to be a huge game as well because FlyQuest is still fighting for playoff spot. Echo Fox able to pull out a win. Keith as well had one of his better games for sure. 6-3 and 6 on Ashe. Avoiding the Infinity Edge, I would have loved to see a little bit more damage, but it was what needed to be done in the game, getting that Mercurial Scimitar based on all the CC. And a rare kind of smiling, happy post-game for Echo Fox after the last half of the split did not go the way they wanted.
No, again, this is a team that was so good looking in the early weeks of the split. Maybe some inconsistency, but looked like a team that could really even threaten for playoffs quite well. And then they get down to this, and it's like, oh, we might actually still get relegated. So, I mean, winning is nice for them. Again, it's out of their hands. They just have to look on tomorrow and see what happens. But at least getting to what their best chance for a safety spot, given all that's transpired, is good for Echo Fox.
Yeah, and it will at the very least give them the confidence as they move towards the promotion tournament, if that ends up being the case. And it is a growing experience for them. I mean, Acadian wraps up his rookie split. Tons of first bloods. He started so strong. There are things for Echo Fox to build on. Froggen as well had some amazing games, but it's been a story for a while, and development actually does take a very long time in sports to try and get this built up towards what would be a playoff team. But, you know, it is nice to end on a win at least.
Certainly is. Well, we're going to have a look at the final fight here and just kind of see what happened. I think Arcadian had more than a bit to do with this end of the fight. He had such a good game on Lee Sin.
Yeah, exactly. And this is, the beginning of this fight was just Envy kind of hoping to get the initiation, and this is the best they were going to get. Looper took so much damage before the fight had really started, and Froggen was even half health from a shock blast, and they go in while the turret is still up. So they're splitting focus between the turret and the fight. But then it kind of resets based on the redemptions, and it's all about Acadian zipping his way into a ward and another flash kick. Same style of way that he got Apollo beforehand. That eliminates Apollo, gives Echo Fox a ton of confidence, just run right at Ninja, who's the next damage dealer. Froggen takes care of that as Acadian helps out, and I think, was it Gate who picked up another kill on the backside? But Froggen maybe picked up his one kill of the game onto Ninja there, but the Nexus was all but dead.
Yeah, and at that point, you know, Echo Fox having some fun, celebrating their win. But for more on the player perspective on that series, let's join Captain Flowers, who's got an interview with Fox.